I suck at putting out a video based on a product launch date, but tonight I only have one thing to do. The two-tone black box latch is closed with magnets. Whoever designed this wanted the person opening the box to know they purchased a premium product right from the start. As soon as the lid opens, there's a QR code on the inside of the box. Full stop. That is genius because it's idiot-proof. The divider has a quick setup guide on the back of it. It is literally one step. The case beneath the single-step instruction sheet is quality, meant to be kept to travel with and to store the scope. Opening the case, you find a molded interior that holds the parts in place. The two main components are the scope and drive assembly, and the rack and rail. The instruction manual isn't cluttered. Each page has a manageable amount of information that somehow works with my brain, making me turn another page rather than put it down and try to figure the scope out for myself. The two parts I mentioned earlier slide together in a way that is both satisfying and obvious. Just make sure you raise the locking lever and listen for the click. The scope housing that came with mine is a 4-pin, the UV3XL SE. Green, yellow, green, yellow. The fourth pin is fixed just above the bubble level. The Total Archery Challenge Sasquatch pin. That's my name for it. After putting the scope together, I could only think, there's no way an engineer designed this. It's too simple. I don't need directions. I can see exactly how it works. It's intuitive. The large drive wheel is tight and confident. It's very smooth. A bit more tension up top than at the bottom, barely noticeable, but it might even out with use. The mechanism feels well adjusted. When you move the scope into place, it stops dead. No slop or play, no rebound. Even when pushing the locking lever in place, nothing moves. 47.5 yards stays 47.5 yards. First, second, and third axis adjustments are literally etched into the rail arm, so you know what's where even without the directions. The knob inside the main drive knob adjusts the windage of the scope housing, adjusting your left and rights. It's micro adjust. Each increment a muted click. When you're perfect, you simply push that knob in and you're done. No tightening down Allen screws, although it looks like you could lock it down on the scope mounting arm when you're 100%. To be determined. I'm not going to torque down those small Allen screws to test it. With this scope, it's the small things. The yardage marker pins are sharpened and anodized a vague color of their correlating fibers. Green, yellow, green. They aren't small and flimsy. The rise on the back of them seems to shine a little bit more, pointing at your yardage. The angles catch the light. The larger structural screws are stainless. No more rust spots from the humid Tennessee summers or random rainstorms. The sight tapes are a matte water-resistant paper. There are QR codes on each page to make sure you don't call Ultraview and complain about losing the instructions. I've got a Padron, handmade. I think this is one of my favorite cigars. Not too expensive, maybe $10. Some of the cigars get insane, $30. And then to celebrate the release of the new Ultraview slider, because it deserves a toast of vintage Jack Daniels. It's really sweet. Like the corn they used back then wasn't trying to modify our genetics. I'm assuming that I played kind of the B-roll intro before this and talked about it, but I genuinely am impressed. So let me tell you how I came to be a person who got an early release version of one of these. I got a DM. It looked like this. And I responded with this. By the way, if you don't know the movie reference where that's from, you need to go watch it. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Iconic. One thing I didn't mention that I think is just one of those details that makes so much sense. Because this bar, this rail slides down in here and you've got to kind of fit it on these two pieces on either side, they expanded the throat on this thing so that it would just that you could just put it in there. Just small little things. And again, I'm not good at this part. This isn't like a thing that you would want to be taking this apart and bringing it up in the tree. Don't take what I'm doing as gospel. This is a goofy way of doing this.
But look at that. This is one thing that I really like about this too. The noise you're hearing is my chair, not the scope. All right, listen, hold up. I'm gonna come up here and do this. You hear that? Nothing. There's no wobble. There's no nothing. There's no nothing that's loose on this thing. Because there's not a bunch of extra crap on it. It's simple. And because it's simple, I'm sure there's a lot of people saying, why is this so expensive? But sometimes the best solutions to a problem are simple and elegant. I am super impressed. Even though Ultraview sent me this for free, they did not ask me to do anything with it. They just sent it to me. But when I got this, I pulled it out and started kind of looking around it, and I don't know, 9.5 out of 10. The only thing that would make it a 10 is if it was $400 and not $600. It's really good, really good. There's just not anything that's that complicated. To be honest, the dialed scope is so much more attractive. Like the dialed scope is like a piece of art, but functionally and technically the quality of that is just, it's not where this is. Which makes sense because that was trial 1 for them. Spot Hog and Excel, they've got all this extra crap on here. Like it's like it was built by engineers and then the design team was never able to take it over. They just let the engineers just kind of like build this big thing that functions great. It's just there's an elegance to this and there's a style to this that I really appreciate. That's about it for first impressions. We don't have to dwell on it for too long. I'm gonna smoke my amazing cigar, drink my amazing alcohol, and just sit here and enjoy a nice late summer evening in Tennessee. Thanks for watching. I'm Brandon McDonald.